Hey YouTube, Marty from Team Peace and Pass. Distorted Reflections is officially out, and we compiled a list of some of the best cards in the set and cards that we personally like. We're also going to talk about our giveaway that should have ended today, but more details on that in the video. So going over our ultra rares, there's a couple of them that we have listed here. Radiant Vega, Diana's weapon of choice as far as having negation built in, especially if you're playing wind or a fire option, you get negation too. You get to be a water player. Removing durability, if you have 4 or 5 Aether charge is in this card, your opponent has to pay 5. So there's ways to move it around. There's ways to obviously naturally to load it up. Having that, and then you still get one swing out of it too. If you negate twice, you got one durability left. Excalibur, it's on destroy effect, being able to copy things like Safeguard, Terraframe, GCR. The sky's the limit. It's a normal weapon. Any deck can play it if you really want to. Curious to see how people are going to kind of combine this with their strategies and what they're going to copy. As far as super rares, Weaving Mana Stream is going to be one of the best cards of the set. Give yourself distant, load it into your weapon, swing. It has floating memory, level up, play whatever, reload, rinse and repeat. A consistent loop of floating memory is amazing in a Diana deck for sure, and is going to be a mandatory staple. Stellarian Shift, give yourself distant, draw a card, and then you get to do the other bonus effect of giving yourself stealth and protecting yourself from non-combat damage. Expeditious Opening is one of the more flexible cards of the set. Being able to put an ally in at fast speed, Gildas if you're an ally deck, Dungeon Guy to level up, Pendragon if you're a Merlin deck. This card also self-replaces, so it's definitely something to be on the lookout for when your opponent's dropping something big on the end of your turn. Regal Inquisition, one of the cards that we overlooked initially, but realized how powerful this card is. Looking at everything that your opponent has, removing things like Luxem cards, your win cons like Burst Asunder for the following turn that they were going to kill you, whatever it may be, then you get to also see what your opponent is replacing them with, and you can strategize for a moment what you can do to counteract the play that they're probably going to make. So definitely something to be on the lookout for. You do have to be obviously level 3 to play this because it's the new concept of that, but level 3 decks are going to definitely consider this either the main or the side. Commentary Vantage, loading up into the Vega because of its third ability on there. So each of your Aether charges in the attempt get to load to another weapon, so you get to swing with one, load it into another if you want to. Loading into the Vega allows you to basically get that negation online the first turn without playing a bunch of cards or Aether calling. So, Salamander's Breath, the concept of Diana for fire is big damage and swing. This card does it. Banishing fire cards, getting additional attack and swinging. Mana's Cascade. With the Mana Stream card, you can obviously play it, give yourself distant, gets loaded, you swing, you got another water card in there or whatever, swing in there, get to rip a card, then you level up, you get to reload those. So definitely something to be on the lookout for. Your opponent might start ripping cards out of your hand. March Hare, what better way to say fire unique human ally? So red hair gets another dude to be able to attack and swing in with. If you play Kindle cards, you get to revive it. So there's lots of ideas there, and it's just going to make that fire aggressive deck much more aggressive. Liminal Guide, the best card of the set, next to the Mana Stream. Big difference with this is it can be played in any deck. Fire cards discard and destroy, water cards mill. Both of those two are going to be playing this for sure if you're a level 3 deck. Being able to basically draw cards is huge, and having multiples, just free drawing, is going to be a big thing. Snow White. Snow White basically allows you to hinder your opponent from leveling up. If you're playing a water ally deck like with Lunette and Korhazi, Trappers, and all this other stuff, you can protect the queen, and let her do her thing. Moving on to our rares, Aethercloak Sentinel. When it's distant, it's a 5/4. Other than that, it's a 1/4 spell shroud taunt. Can't be targeted, has to be attacked. There's a benefit of a potential draw in there as well. Travariate Dream, something that probably the Fire Aggro Diana build might be playing. You get to load up 3 of them. It gets 3 additional attack, swinging for like 7 damage in your first couple of turns. You can really clinch the game very fast with this card. Aquifer, hindered, taunt, but with Seal Water, that's the fastest way to ramp up omens. So this card can either just come into play or come into play with a buff. So if you want to get rid of it, you can play Vanishing Eclipse, target it, pop it back on your opponent's deck. You now know what they're going to be drawing, and then also you get to give yourself Distant. You can also Aether Call this card. Blazing Cinder Charge for the Fire Diana players. All those cards basically say deal damage, load, swing for damage. That's what that card does right there. Mana Flare Barrage, same thing. Deal some damage, load it, swing for damage. But the one thing that you can kind of combine with these is the Huntress. So you get to reveal an Aether Charge card, discard it if you want to benefit off of the Cinder Charge, or you can load it if you want to just to get in some of that aggressive damage, and then draw a card. Self-replacing, definitely going to be played in Diana for sure. Confidence Oath, with the Water Seals getting the ability to get so many more omens than the other two, the ability to basically draw a card every turn, or at least guaranteed every other turn, is going to be huge for them to start getting that advantage going. And then the last card to talk about is Rile the Abyss. Drawing a card, you can also discard Spectre cards and draw additional cards. So Liminal Guide, pitch if you have 2 of them optimally, so you can draw a card, pitch 2 of them, draw 2 more cards. You level up, you bring both of those back, you drew 2 cards. So that's the most optimal play with this. But even then, the ability to cycle and maybe discard 1 is definitely for sure a great way to get that card out of your hand, get it into the grave, and get its bonus effects. But let's talk about our giveaway. The rules to the giveaway were had to reach 250 subscribers by DTR release. Unfortunately, we didn't make that goal. However, we want to give away a box. So we changed the deadline. 2 additional weeks, going till August 8th, 250 subscribers. To enter, subscribe to the channel, like this video. If you already liked the previous video with Diana and Seal, you're already entered in. And then comment which champion you look forward to playing. We're going to make Market Watch. That'll be our next video that we will do on August 9th. As long as we reach 250 subs, somebody's going to win a box that day. Moving on to our uncommons. Adjutant, the taunt, undeath, put an omen counter on it. Easy way to ramp up and get the confident off, get the aquifer woken up. Lots of ways to do that. Chain charge, basically a negation, small little frostbind. Pay 1, make your opponent pay 1, load it, an easy little negation there. Nige is another way for Seal to get omens. Sacrifice something like Adjutant to play this for free. If you're playing against an ally deck, they all come in rested. If you're level 2, banish it and put an omen counter on it. Another way to get all those refinements and all the benefits of having omens. Piercing Aether Fuel, draws and discards, and then you can make it basically by banishing 2 fires from your graveyard, the next attack is unpreventable. So what more way to be more aggressive than preventing your opponent from doing anything? Intensified Pyre, this card is Kindle 3, deals 2. If they have 8 or more, deals 6. So Water Genbu decks, mill decks, things like that. Even in the later games, if your opponent's just like playing a bunch of stuff, you can start smashing for 6 damage. And with this, you can play the Kindle effect to bring back like the March Hare or whatever on that. So definitely something that Fire Aggro decks will probably be playing. And then Poisonous Breeze Cap. It's like one of the only win cards I had on here because we didn't think that a lot of the win cards were really good, but this one was the most interesting. Drawing a card into memory, constant suppression, just like you would a Forest Cake. But the difference is that if this would be suppressed, you can actually sacrifice it and then rip a card instead. So it has the ability to kind of have flexibility. And that's one thing that each card in Grand Archive, the more flexibility it has, sometimes the better that the card is. Moving on to our commons, Flowing Oobli, another way to get omens. That's pretty standard and pretty simple on that guy right there. But Minor Reparation is your benefit from it. If you have 10 omens from all these cards that you're able to get extra omens from, and then your turns, you can heal for 10. For 3 at fast speed, and it has floating memory. What more could you want in a card? I mean, the only way that it would get better is if it drew a card like Revitalizing Cleanse. Thronekeeper Bullfrog, it is a water stalwart that costs 1 more, but has 2 more health. Seaside Ringleader, all these other buffs mechanics for an animal or beast, this one being an animal. You could have a Fat Taunt, you could have a 2/6 on board that your opponent just has to deal with now. Infernal Mana Streak, going back to that Diana concept, deal some damage, load it, swing for some damage. Basically, it's a little ping, 2 or 3, load it up. And then Conflagrative Trounce. This card is essentially a very cheap attack card and something that Fire Seal should definitely consider playing. So it's 1 for 2, but if you have 2 omens that have the same reserve cost, it's 2 additional attack. Now, if you have 2 omens of the same reserve cost, you get an additional attack already. So this card is a 1 cost swing for 5 essentially, and the more that you get in there with your omens and fire, the stronger that this card will be. You could even swing for 7 and draw a card for just 1. Other commons, Ash Wound Shot, really like this with the fire stuff, especially with people wanting to heal and things like that. You play this in response, prevent them from healing, and really hinder your opponent, especially like Serene Spirit releases, Fast Cures, Ari, Xander, things like that, and you're pushing that damage and you're telling them, nope, you can't heal, I'm going to kill you next turn. Lurid Dreaming, I like this card a lot. Ari and Vanitas and Merlin are the ones that come to mind with this. Ari and Vanitas are going to be for the 3 visits, whether you're playing Razorgale or Ari. Being able to rest, glimpse 2, and heal, and then you play this, wake up your champion, draw the card that you wanted to keep from your glimpse, and then you can 3 visits 1 more time, glimpsing 2 for your draw for your next turn. The big thing is Merlin. So with Merlin, you can tap, eat a float, gain a level. Play this, draw into memory, wake up, eat a float, gain a level. Go to level 3 before you go to level 3, tap Merlin level 2, eat a float, gain a level. You've gained 3 levels. You level up into Merlin level 3. She gains a level. You're at even, so now you get the draw. So you got 2 draws, and now you're at level 7 just from playing essentially 1 card. So it really progresses that aspect of leveling up and getting the level counter so much faster. Fortify Mana Shot, get some more durability, put it on the Vega, get another negation. And then Pepper Chef. Pepper Chef, seen this in some fire aggro decks. I mean, we play Blazing Bowman for a big little swinger with low health. This card does the same concept, but it sacks a dude. So I've seen people play Red Hair, March Hare, they attack with those, discard a fire. Play Pepper Chef, sack the March Hare to the grave, and then swing for 4. They play a Kindle card, revive the March Hare, swing for another damage. So fire aggro decks are definitely something that you need to be mindful of. The last thing I want to talk about is the Looking Glass. This is our Divine Relic of the set. If it's in your material deck, you can start the game with it on the field, and then you have 10 cards that you can choose from to play. So I like the Looking Glass, and we do in the concept of it has a lot of really cool flexibility cards that changed what we already know, like Sword of Shadows is your Sword of Seeking, things like that. Consumption Ring is busted. Ranger Strides for Diana is really good, things like that. But the biggest thing that we have caution on is that if you're playing a level 3 deck, you already have 4 slots dedicated to your champion. Then if you play 2 or 3 of these plus the Looking Glass, now you're at 8. So that only leaves 4 slots, maybe 5. And that's where we think that some of the problem might be, is that you just have, there's so much regalia that you probably want to play that it hinders that. So just something to keep in mind for sure. But that's going to do it, guys. Thanks so much for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. If you want to get into that giveaway, definitely make sure you do that. Happy DTR season, guys. Thanks again, and peace.